Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Greetings, I'm your host, Kameti Ube. And this is the Interfaith talk show. And I have my host to come back. Gregory is his name. And we're going to be talking about the impact of Islam concerning the American community, or some would say Black people. But we're going to get into it and pick off from two Fridays ago. And I think it's very important to learn what Islam is all about in the community. And the question is, who brought Islam to the shores of North America? And I would be the one that would say that Islam was brought here in these shores by a people known as Moors. The Moors were the ones who were kicked out of Spain and Portugal back in 1492. And they gave you the story about Christopher Columbus, all right? But they didn't tell you that Columbus had Moors on a ship called the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. Those were Moors who were Muslims who had brought Columbus over to these shores with the Caribbean islands. That is, he never went to the mainland. But it was the Moors who had brought Islam after the Moors was kicked out of Spain and Portugal sometime in 1492. And it's been going on for so many centuries, all right, where the Moors got caught up into the slave trade, all right, which most people is not aware of, all right. But meanwhile, I'm having my guest speaker, and we're going to pick up from where we left off concerning the impact that Islam had on the African-American community here in this nation. Yes, Greg, we're going to pick up, as you were stating before.
Well, I think that one of the best examples
yes,
of the impact of Islam was the Algerian Revolution.
All right.
And how that influenced the politics of the Black Panther Party. In the 60s, you had a Pan-African cultural festival, and the Panthers attended that festival, and so did Yasser Arafat and members of the Palestinian Liberation Organization.
Yes.
The Black Panthers created what is called an international section of the Black Panther Party. And for the first time, even though the Panthers had no land, the government of Algeria still recognized them as a government in exile. That was very significant.
Very significant.
So that's an example of the impact. But prior to that, Malcolm X had traveled to Mecca, made his Hajj, and then he had made a pilgrimage to Africa.
Yes, he did.
And he spoke with Kwame Nkrumah, the president of Ghana.
Ghana, yes.
Ghana. And Nkrumah had formed what is known, or founded what is known as the Organization of African Unity.
True.
So Malcolm took that template and supplanted it to America.
Yes, he did.
And created what is known as the Organization of Afro-American Unity.
Yes.
Designed behind the spirit and letter of the Organization of African Unity.
True.
In addition to that, Malcolm also had founded the Muslim Mosque Incorporated.
That's true, right in Harlem.
Right. And that was designed to bring all Muslims together.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
But let me point out something that I think is very significant. And you see this not only in the Islamic religion, you also see it in the Christian religion. In the Christian religion, as you know, you're familiar with ethnocentric and
yes,
Christianity and white denominationalism that
yes,
create a schism in the church.
True.
So you had two different theologies. You had a Black theology and you had a white theology.
Yes.
Black theology was based on the concept of W.E.B. Du Bois, Sojourner Truth, Richard Allen.
Yes. Don't forget Baladen.
And Nathaniel Paul.
Yes, right? you familiar with Baladen, right?
No, I'm not very familiar.
Because he's also a big major figure in that.
So that was Black theology. White theology was Martin Luther, John Wesley,
yes,
John Calvin,
yes,
St.